split right down the middle, Judo.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it as well because the matches are so difficult to predict. I think as casters, we all went for Dizi Stamina on this one, but I feel like that was very much slanted on yesterday's performances. Hawk is on defense. It is P. Castro, as you mentioned, the player that brings that extra pedigree to Tribe Gaming. Can he kick things off with a 3-star for them? Diving to the Town Hall straight away with a Battle Blimp.
Interesting play here. P. Castro went to the skies with the Dragon attack yesterday. Now taking it back to the ground and pound of the Root Riders. Gonna go ahead and just safely get that Town Hall out of the way. And I think this is a big war where you get that early 3-star and you put that pressure over to the other squad. Remember, Dizi put up 12 yesterday, Tribe put up 11. So who's gonna get that first strike? Who's gonna get that first 3-star on the board?
I really like that because not only does it help with the defensive pathing, the Spirit Fox can also take a lot of damage from the Town Hall because it attacks so fast. So just wiping that out straight away means he can be a little bit more efficient with his invisibility cycling here. With the redirect, gets her to the core, and he is tearing it up right now.
That is crazy, crazy values. That overgrowth over there on the right side helped out a lot. But you're right, that if that Town Hall hits the Spirit Fox does not survive much longer. Has not really found too many traps here. And this World Champion is just on a tear, going all the way to the back of the base and then getting recalled. Did she take any damage?
I don't think she did. I think that's what the invisibility spells are for, if you can avoid all of those traps. I don't think Dizi Stamina were expecting the approach that we see. And that's where, to avoid some of the traps and the bait, you do have to get that little bit extra creative. Now we see the Root Riders diving into this compartment, using the Archer Queen to try and set that funnel on the outside of the base, as they will swoop all of the way around now because the core is completely gone.
Exactly. You can see it right there in the middle. No need for an overgrowth because there's nothing to shut down in there. As long as you keep your healers up here and keep that pack of Root Riders tight, he's going to have a good time throughout this base. Big crucial portion of the base coming up with the Ice Golem coming out. Monolith is there. King's protecting Minion Prince. If he can navigate that, get through the Crusher Mortar, things are looking good. But look at that. The King down there on the bottom side soloing.
Yeah, it's time that we've seen with this extended Royal Champion charge into Root Riders, but he's doing a great job. I love the use of the miner at the bottom to sneak under the walls and get the gold storage. King stripping out that right side of the base. Time is ticking, but he is looking good here. I feel like the storages in the center could be a little bit of an issue, but let's see if he can push through this in the last 40 seconds.
Good call there, Judo. Keeping an eye on all those buildings that might hold things up. World Champion is still pretty healthy. He has the queens, but those clone queens are starting to fade. That miner gets taken out on that storage. That storage could be a crucial building, you're right.
Yeah, we've got the Phoenix trying to pick away on that scatter shot. 20 seconds. His Aussie is still alive. He's got the Electro Boots as well. That's going to damage the non-defensive buildings. Let's ramp it up here. Tribe Gaming opening up as they need to go on 3 stars. Take that, Dizi Stamina. Wow. They only got 1 3-star yesterday. We mentioned it. Now they start out with a 3. What an attack from P. Castro.
Switching strategies, but the same dominant force throughout the base, and exactly how you need to start a war against this Dizi X Stamina squad. Remember, Dizi came out with back-to-back 3 stars yesterday, so you know that they're going to be coming out swinging early. Getting P. Castro on the board, that's exactly what this Tribe team needed to do right now.
Yeah, they came out with back-to-back 3 stars, but I feel like you just have that little bit different story when you know that your opponent has already 3-starred against you. Can they hold it together? Hawk attacked things off yesterday for Dizi Stamina. Let's see whether he is going to be doing that today. And if he can get that 3-star, like you said, exciting stuff.
Yeah, they did go second against Navi yesterday, but remember, Navi missed their first attack. This is a whole different situation. With P. Castro tripling, it almost feels like you have to keep pace. And then if you do miss, it feels like you're behind, and then that pressure just starts to mount. Hawk feeling a little bit chilly going up against Kronos base. Ready for the noise, and it's going to be another Super Yeti smash for Hawk.
Here we go then. Starting out at the left side of the base. Just going to be a little bit slow here, setting things up. You've got to get that pathing for the Super Yetis, making sure, as was perfectly demonstrated in the attack by General X in that last wall, you've got the funnel on the left and right corners, so your Super Yetis can drive straight through the center of the base.
It's a lot of setup. It's a big commitment, but it is so worth it, especially if you get that healer swap over right on time. Those Super Yetis are just so beefy, and they deal some really solid DPS. Now setting up that Flame Flinger, I think he's going to try to go ahead and get maybe to that Expo. I guess he could pull into the next compartment because the Expo is locked onto the Warden, but it feels like he wants this Expo, so there's no threat to that Flame Flinger.
Yeah, absolutely. You just then have to go down the bottom area. Might have to snipe off that Tesla to get to the mortar itself. But this is what I was talking about before in terms of having to get that little bit extra creative tanking defenses beforehand to get that Flame Flinger value. But he's got the funnel set on this left side. Is going to mean that sometimes we see the Flinger to set the funnel on the opposite side. This time it's the Barbarian King with the Super Yetis moving in, and he's overgrowthing the Town Hall to loop around it.
Ooh, this is a little bit scary. See if the Royal Champion joins the King there on that top side. We see the Queen in the middle there, but he is going to have to path around and then circle back for the Town Hall, so maybe Royal Champion comes in late for the Town Hall. We do see the Ice Golem, Furnace out of the Clan Castle. Got to get that all dealt with. There's a Yeti down there tanking that multi-mortar. Everything looks like it's going well so far.
Yeah, everything looks good. He did just lose one Super Yeti. Pressed that Grand Warden ability maybe a smidge too late. So one of those is down, but not the end of the world when you're pushing towards the end of the attack. We've still got plenty of spells and hero abilities. There's the King's Spiky Ball going off. Lots of spells to help reinforce this Royal Champion down the bottom area of the base. 1 minute bash, and he's still picking up value with that Flame Flinger.
That Yeti Royal Champion skin fits the Super Yeti attack, but look at this danger zone he's coming into. Crusher Mortar, Scattershot, Expos, Ricochet Cannon, and don't forget the Queen's right there waiting on defense. It's definitely going to be a tough area, but look at the spell support, and the Royal Champion still has ability.
There is the Royal Champion ability. Uses it alongside the Rage so he can pick up even more value alongside those spears, trying to make sure that when he pushes to this bottom compartment, we can freeze the Archer Queen. Decides to use that now so that the minions get that little bit extra value. RC steps up. Can he get good invis timing? He does.
Nice.
For the Ricochet Cannon, and it's looking good for the return 3-star for Dizi X Stamina.
Hawk does it again with another Super Yeti triple. Yeti Royal Champion carrying this attack, and we are all squared. 3-3, 100% all around.
What a beast. I love the celebration there as well. You could see the relief in that as well. Just getting that response, putting the ball back in Tribe Gaming's court and making sure that they have to continue their 3-star streak.
We saw the teams earlier very animated on stage. We know Tribe can get animated. I wonder if Dizi start to play to the crowd as well. You saw Hawk just getting a little bit amped up there. I think if this was any indicator of how it's gone so far, this is going to be very, very intense coming down to those final attacks. But so far, all squared, all even playing field going into the second volley of attacks here. We will have the response for Tribe Gaming.
Indeed. Stars, percentage, time, tied up. Let's go. We have Nebrax going in for Tribe Gaming, who did get that 3-star for them yesterday with the extensive RC charge into Dragons. He did like to play that throughout the qualifiers as well. It felt like he just stuck with that moving into the finals, and that is what he's going with. Play safe, go into your strengths, and let's hope he can get this RC charge to work, because I always get that little bit worried when you're doing extensive RC charges with the amount of bait you could run into.
He's very, very good at navigating that Royal Champion. I remember one time he popped that Royal Champion ability in that haste valve, and she was just sprinting around the base, but he's invis. He's so great at managing these long RCs charges. It's such a tough skill, but she's under a lot of fire early.
Wow.
Giant bombs going off. Already lost the Spirit Fox. Let's see what Nebrax, the Dragon Whisperer, can do against Sante's base.
That's what we talk about in terms of you can turn her invisible, but the traps will still deal that damage. Now the Spring Trap pushing her up. That means she's losing damage because the Spring Trap deals that damage as well. One little fraction away. He has to press the ability, but she's running all over the place now. She's not going to go to the Town Hall.
Oh no, she was definitely in charge of the Town Hall there, and she is not going to be able to pick up that building. Ooh, this is going to throw a little damper in his plan. I think he's got amazing pathing towards the Town Hall, so I think he's still going to be fine, but he definitely was trying to redirect that Royal Champion to take that Town Hall.
Yeah, and just the damage that that provides onto all of the dragons as well, though, firing across is going to be pretty scary to get through. We've got the Archer Queen up to the top dragons, having to fly straight in towards this Giga Bomb. Can he get a good split here to make sure he doesn't take too much damage? And can he use the abilities effectively? Because he's going to kind of have to use the Warden ability early here. Decides to save onto it. He needs to make sure he's got enough power for the Town Hall as well.
Especially with this Town Hall starting to fire onto the dragons. Here comes some rocket balloons. Queen finally got those defending rocket balloons down, but look at this. Those dragons are starting to fade. He's got a pop Warden ability.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's what I was saying. You can't lose too many dragons and hold on to it for too long. So he's popped that, but where does the Minion Prince go? He has to hope the Minion Prince peels off here to the Town Hall. He's got super minions there, so maybe he can snipe that off as it's distracted on the dragons.
Good shout there, Judo. The super minions will come and take that Town Hall down. And Nebrax has secured the 2-star, but now it is a long haul through the back end of this base with the defending king, defending Minion Prince there. It is going to be very tough for this to convert to a 3-star.
Yeah, I mean, they just go down so fast in esports mode with that extra damage. You've got the defending Minion Prince, the multi-gear cannon shooting up at those air troops as well. He's managed to push the percentage very respectively up to the 90s here, but the damage just that little bit too much here at the end, but very, very close.
Did you see that Minion Prince on defense? He just shredded the remainder of the army. That paired with the multi-gear tower and the air defense, those dragons stood no chance. But very good percentage here. 94, maybe 95. No, 94 on a miss. If you're in the mid-90s, that's where you want to be. Obviously, we all want 3 stars, but if you're going to miss, you want it as high as percent as possible.
Well, you've got to say he did very well to recover there, because the RC was darting all over. She was on the fraction of health, missing the Town Hall. It could easily go pear-shaped. Underneath the lights, the cameras, when you have your opponent just coming out of a 3-star as well, you could see how you need that resilience to keep yourself together and make sure to finish off the attack as strong as you can. Even if the 3 stars goes out the window, get that high percent, get that 2-star, and that's exactly what he did. I
don't know how these players keep their composure, because we're just up here, you know, casting it, and like my heart starts racing, I start getting nervous. And they're just cool, calm, collect, like, okay, this is what I got to do to adjust the plan. I think that was a great job. I do believe the RC was intended to take the Town Hall, but a great job of composing himself and making that plan work to still get that Town Hall and get a 94%. Super, super respectable attack. We will see Darkstar, the next attacker for Dizi. He did use those rockets yesterday, and he's going to use them again. He came out with a 3-star. 3-star here would be massive.
Yeah, Darkstar is such a good player. He is on another level when it comes to creativity and just picking apart bases in ways that the defender surely could not have predicted. Notice sniping off the Expo to the far right side, just looking to set up the Flinger, even a wall breaker to get in a little bit deeper and test for that area. Then we will see the Flinger, but he's got to just make sure he doesn't lose focus of his Warden, especially as he was going into those defending CC troops.
Yeah, that's a big thing. It's one of the hardest things to manage, especially in esports mode. You got to remember, those defending heroes, they have 20% more HP and deal 20% more damage. Not to mention, all the defenses hit 20% harder, and then his heroes are hitting a little bit less. That Warden Walk, 10% less damage on that Warden Walk. Not to mention 10% less health here in the esports. Not to mention the equipment, and it gets nerfed as well. There's so many modifiers that make esports such a difficult task for these pro players to go through and get 3 stars.
A little bit unfortunate that the Ricochet cannon turned to his Warden there, because he had a nice use of skeletons distracting that area, so he did have to rage the Warden. Will help with time as well, because with all those modifiers you're talking about, one thing you've got to be careful of is you don't run out of time, because your Warden takes longer to take out those buildings. But you see the Flinger has set up great pathing whereby the Warden can be controlled into these defenses, and we've got the hero push from the north now. And
look at that incredible timing. Now the Warden is in range of that ground bow. Remember, those Expos are one of those few defenses that outrange the Flinger, but now with the Warden tanking that Expo, that Flinger is free to get its full 2-minute value and just throw those Fire Spirits all throughout the base. We do have the hero charge on the top of the base. Queen did have to go to ability to deal with that Minion Prince, but so far, it looks cool, calm, collect. It looks like everything's under control, relatively speaking.
Yeah, time is his biggest factor here. He's trying to hold on to the Royal Champion, probably swiping her in alongside the top as well. But let's see, he's still got one Druid he's holding on to, interestingly enough. Here's a couple of balloons at the bottom. The Royal Champion actually swiping in from the bottom since the Warden is moving into the center of the base, but he's got to be careful on the Town Hall here. 47 seconds, trying his best to get that down with the Yetis that came out of the Flame Flinger. Can they get it?
Oh, this is a big moment.
No!
Oh, wait, how is he going to get this Town Hall? He's got Invises, he's got a couple regular balloons. RC might, yeah, I think RC could make her way over there with ability. He's got Invises, so I think he can save it still. But man, he was definitely counting on those Yetis to get the Town Hall down. Oh, yeah. RC!
Moving back over, she will get the Town Hall,
okay.
but I'm more just thinking in time, he really needed that down if he's going to push for the 3-star here, because he's still got a lot to push through. He's getting there, though. That's all of the defenses down. 10 seconds. Isn't enough. Storages have high hit points.
Go, go, go! It's so close here, Judo. One more building remains.
He's celebrating!
Royal Champion
Not
gets
even
it
close!
done. 3-star for Dizi at STMN, and they push into the lead.
Wow, Dizi starting off exactly like they did yesterday. Back-to-back 3-stars, you called it. And what a war we have on our hands. To think that out of these 4 attacks, a 2-star 94% is the difference maker is wild. That is how good these teams are. But it's back across to Tribe, because after only 2 rounds of attacks, still a lot of war to catch up.
You can definitely tell that our upper bracket is developing just by the quality of wars we're getting. Each and every war better than the last, as it looks like Rakiraz will be our next attacker for Tribe. It appears he's setting up here. This is a huge attack. Rakiraz just narrowly missed yesterday with a Root Rider attack, striking at 94%. Rakiraz, wake up! You gotta attack, brother!
He is, again, one of those players that has so much experience, and so much experience on the big stage as well. And he always doesn't seem to look phased. Using rocket balloons to just snipe a couple of those defenses initially here. Then we've got the RC charge, which actually goes right in towards the Monolith now.
Great use of those balloons. It's one of those tricky things though, because for me, when using an RC charge, I have to rely on the clock to get my timing right. These pros are so good. They can send in a couple rocket balloons and then throw her in at that 50-second mark and just kind of pick right off where they left off. RC! Ooh, she's barely hanging on. Good invisibility. Fox looks undamaged, and the RC cannot take a spring trap here or a giant bomb.
She was inside the poison of the Town Hall. That was the dangerous part. And let's see what he decides to do. Ability, yeah. With that haste file, he gets that health recovery, gets it to the Town Hall. That's where these are pros. How on earth do you recover that from that situation in the moment that he is on the big stage? Gets the Town Hall, gets that pathing exactly what needed. No sweat.
9 times out of 10, us average players, our Royal Champion's dead there, and we're like, oh,
calling me average?
Okay, us non-pros. Let's go that way. We're here at the desk. But Rakiraz, an absolute pros pro, keeping that Royal Champion going through here. Now it's just that long trounce through the rest of the base. Keep an eye on that bottom compartment. You always see it. That Crusher Mortar, the King, the Minion Prince. It's such a difficult area to navigate. But if you can get through that area, you have a great shot at 3-starring this base.
Clan Castle troops racing towards those Root Riders. Did use that Lava Hound earlier on in order to get the Poison Tower out of the way. Now we come to this dangerous area at the bottom with the Crusher Mortar, multiple heroes, and the Giga Bomb. He's got to use his hero abilities to push through this area fast. There's the Giga Bomb going off. He's holding on to that Warden ability for as long as possible. But he's just used it now to try and push through this bottom area and towards that Fire Spitter.
I was wondering if he held it maybe a little bit too long. I mean, there's still a few troops up in there, but look at that last Root Rider going down there. He still does have a big heroic force, but maybe could have used that a little bit earlier into the entry to save some of those roots and some of those troops coming out of the troop launcher there. I mean, it's hard to say how much of a difference that would have made, but now it's going to be all onto the heroes to do the heavy lifting through the back end of this base.
Yeah, I think the Poison Tower really messed him up a little bit there, just slowing down his Queen. She couldn't get through the wall enough and had to use the ability early, essentially. Royal Champion only just going down, though, so he's done incredibly well to keep her alive. But it is going to fall short here for Rakiraz. What percentage can he drive it up to? A couple of troops on the left-hand side. Super Giant as well, or the Giant. Actually, with the healers, means he might not get raged up here. Pushing towards the 90%, but it's not what Tribe need when Dizi X Stamina are continuing to 3-star.
Yeah, now they're still down by stars, but now they also look to fall even further behind in the percentage game. Rakiraz had a really nice attack there with 90%, but with the way that Dizi is playing, it is so tough to catch up. Now, yesterday, I mean, obviously it was yesterday, but the back end of this lineup, obviously Fluxy just had to get a 2-star to win it, but the middle part of the lineup with Max and Sante, they kind of struggled a little bit. They didn't get those 3-stars, so maybe that could be the story here today, and Tribe can play a little bit of catch-up here in rounds 3 and 4.
Yeah, Mask's attack certainly didn't go to plan, losing that RC, did he? But let's see what he's got, because Mask is again a player that he's got a lot of experience, he's got a lot of fantastic consistency, but he does tend to have those slip-ups as well, and unfortunately, it does tend to happen on the big stage. Let's see what happens. It's not going to be Mask. It is Sante attacking versus Timpa's base. And it is the Rocket Loons here, Bash. Let's go. I always love to see this.
Sticking to the skies, but he was with Dragons yesterday, but we've seen him use these rockets throughout, and I think that's one of those kind of like risky things you're just kind of talking about there. When you're using an attack like these Rocket Loons, it is such a good attack. It's such a quality attack, but the margin for error is so slim. So let's see what Sante can do here as he is setting up this Warden, working through here. Look at the Minion Prince has that Angry Jelly, so we'll see a Minion Prince charge a little bit later in the attack.
Yeah, ooh, look at that multi-archer tower. He's actually managed to split the damage from it with a couple of the archers. That's the benefit of having the Furnace here as well, just slowing down some of those defenses and making sure that you can split the multi-archer tower. He did have to use one of his spells, but not the end of the world. Managing to negotiate through this area of the base well. But yes, as you mentioned, the Minion Prince charge, I love that alongside the Rocket Loons, because you can use them to reinforce and also test for traps in front of the Minion Prince. Here we go with the Fireball, though.
Looks everything's smooth so far here. Very diligent there, didn't want a Fireball miss. And that giant arrow from the Queen to finish that Town Hall off. Beautiful play there from Sante, as it looks like he's on pace. Got to be careful with this Warden getting too close to the Queen. If he gets too close, he'll get pulled, and that's not the intention, but Queen is actually going to go down here, so it's fine.
Yeah, I feel like he just used the Queen for that giant arrow and to snipe off some of this damage. Like the Minion Prince is very dangerous when you're doing a Warden charge, so all looks good here. Look at the Ice Hound tanking for the Stone Slammer, still managing to keep that Warden alive, but this is where the multitasking starts to get to another level. 1 minute 30, he has to start deploying the other portions of his attack. But so far, this is looking beautifully controlled.
This is where we were talking about the creativity from Dizi X Stamina. All of them can come out with the most creative attacks, and it's hard to plan for them. Oh! Warden goes down right towards that multi-gear tower and the multi-infernos. That's a big blow to this attack. If he's able to keep that Warden up, it's obviously going to be great. Both those fire spitters firing, all those defenses there, Warden going down. That's a big blow to his 3-star possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, with time, he had to start the Minion Prince, but with the multi-gear cannon, it fires so hard, so you have to have those spells in early. I mean, he's not going to be able to get through that central area of the base, so that's where, forget about the damage in the middle. If you're going to miss a couple of percentage points, make sure that they are key defenses. Pick up all of the non-defenses on the outside, but even now, the Royal Champion struggling at the top of the base. This is exactly what Tribe Gaming needed. He's only got 30 seconds. RC, ooh, manages to get through that. But this is a low percentage, which is why we don't see the Fireball Rocket Loons too often.
You're right. All it takes is one little mistake, and that's exactly what we saw. He started the rest of the attack because you have to start the rest of the attack, but then that Warden just got in range of all those deadly defenses, and it is going to be a low percent. Now, Tribe are still going to be trailing on stars, but I believe the percentage is going to shift over to Tribe. Actually, it's going to be really, really close. It might be all square as far as percent goes, with that being 75%. Well, no, I think it's going to be 10% over to Tribe.
Yeah, it's 9% actually to Tribe, which is a good thing for Tribe. But like you said, they trail on the stars, which is the most important factor. However, is that the momentum shift that Tribe needed? That little pick-me-up, getting that big defense, opening the door, and can they finish? Is it normally Kronos that attacks next for Tribe Gaming, I think?
Kronos went second last time, but Kronos should be here, as Temper is usually that closer. But now, here's the scenario. Remember, Tribe attacks first, and they have the lead, so if they can put up 2 3-stars and get 1 defense, they can easily win this war. This is still anyone's ball game, as it does look like Kronos is setting up. Did go with that Rocket Loon attack yesterday. Let's see what he's bringing to the field against Fluxy's base.
Here we go then. Kronos, 3 stars, ties up the stars for them and keeps them ahead on percentage points. 3 overgrowth spells for this one in terms of the Root Riders. We don't often see that many. Diving straight in with the Archer Queen and the Grand Warden. We're seeing this approach a lot more recently, trying to make sure you can dodge those traps from the Royal Champion. Just got to make sure that you keep your queen safe. But I do like this approach because you don't have to use the invis spell straight away because you have the healing from your healers.
Exactly. You can kind of just like stagger those invises a little bit. And it's like a little bit of a safer approach if there's enough value on the outside. We've talked about how deadly those spring touch are, but watch those healers. You got to pull them out. You can't let those healers take damage from that scatter shot. So great recognition at getting those healers out of harm's way.
Yeah, beautiful job just to get those super quick out of the area. He even got the defenses he wanted. Now pushing right into this area, overgrowthing the Town Hall because you can notice how much space is around those defenses. Is this reverse psychology and there's not many traps there, or is it absolutely littered with them? Barbarian King diving in, so far so good with the Snake Bracelet, tanking for all of these troops. Healers look like they are really low on hit points now.
Yes.
So should a Red Air Mine hit them, this could be a big rip for this attack.
He's got those balloons coming out of the troop launcher to provide the support. There's 3 Seeking Air Mines soaked up by 1 balloon. That is massive, but all it would take is 1 red air bomb, and I believe those healers would go down, but 2, 3 red air bombs chase another balloon. Balloons out of that troop launcher just providing all the tanking that Kronos needs.
Yeah, and he used his freeze spells beautifully there to make sure he wasn't taking damage from the Town Hall, continuing to use the overgrowth spells to loop the Root Riders around the outside and make sure he can keep them together. Sometimes you can use the RC dive to get in there and take out the defenses. Other times, use the overgrowth. Continue to do that pathing. Now that he's trying to take down the center of the base, it gets a little bit dangerous, but to be honest, he's got the King ability, Bash. He's got the RC ability. He's looking good here.
Insane use of 3 overgrowths here, Judo. It's so hard, like, just figuring out where you're going to use those overgrowths, and he's just progressively dropping them to the next stage of the attack, the next area that all of his troops are getting in, and that overgrowth completely shuts those down, allows for the pathing, and this crowd has gone crazy. DreamHack Atlanta making the noise.
I'm not surprised. Kronos, the hype man himself. I love that. Just knows he's got it done. Just has to tap that hero ability here and there. Set off the headset. Let's make some noise. 3 stars it is. And as you said, due to that 1 attack from Sante, dropping the percentage, Tribe Gaming were 9% in the lead. Now they tie things up on stars. So if Dizi X Stamina do not 3-star, they fall even further behind on that percentage.
Exactly. Tribe will gain more percent, but then if Dizi don't 3-star here, that means if Tribe triple, they will win the war. So this is a super important attack as we're coming in. Most likely we're going to see Mask here. Oh, wait, it looks like Fluxy might be setting up. Normally Fluxy is the 5 spot, but we have seen them flip-flop sometimes throughout the season. Fluxy normally that anchor, but moving his position maybe to 4, it definitely looks like he's the one getting ready to attack right now.
Yeah, he's definitely shaking things up, hyping himself ready for this attack. And, it is actually Mask. No, maybe he's just getting in the zone ready. Why not? Make sure that you're good to go. Mask it is. He did have that unfortunate turn of events yesterday. Let's see whether he can make it happen today when his team really needs him. It is the Super Yetis, Bash.
Super Yetis becoming more and more prevalent here in our Clash Clans World Championship meta. This Queen is going to charge in here with that Angry Jelly. Remember, the Angry Jelly will allow her to charge only defenses for 35 seconds. So she's just going to go right into this section, especially with those healers. We talked about how she's able to pick up all that healing, all that support. If she can get in here and get this Crusher Mortar, get this enemy Queen, oh my goodness, this is so much value. If the Queen can make it through here, Judo, she is looking incredible.
Gets a little bit low on health, but he is good. And I like the approach of diving in to get the Crusher Mortar because that is so pivotal versus any ground smash attack. So being able to get that out of the way is crucial.
Ooh.
Does hit the tornado trap, so he has to use the invisibility spell early to make sure does not take too much damage. In a fraction of a second, you can lose your heroes in this esports mode.
Yeah, could have maybe even made that storage there, but maybe wants the storage out for pathing, because remember the Super Yetis, they're going to attack everybody. This Crusher Mortar just will not go down. He cannot get the Crusher Mortar down. Oh. Now he's on the Ice Globe. Oh no!
He's got to just get them out of there. I mean, you've got to say as well, looking at the base, Tribe Gaming, they had the heroes right around it. They've got the Clan Castle where you have that awful timing to make sure that the Ice Golems just going to freeze, and he committed a lot of spells there as well. So is that going to be the difference maker?
That was a huge spell commitment, and it looked like she was going to get it. It looked like she was going to get it, and then she did. I think if he made that storage invisible with one of those 2 invises, he gets that Crusher Mortar down. But look at this, now that Crusher Mortar is raining down. Obviously, he's got the healers, but look how low these Yetis already are there, Judo.
Oh my goodness,
oh,
right into the Yeti. He's got to use the Warden ability. One of them went down. How much force does he have through the base? Look at the Town Hall on the opposite side. Come on, Mask. Hold it together, my friend.
This is a long round through the base.
This is difficult. The RC doesn't have easy backup plan pathing here.
Yeah, what would be the backup plan here? Okay, he's going to throw RC in here. But it looks like he's trying to get that Wizard Tower out to throw the RC right at the Town Hall.
Yeah, I mean, he's got it at this stage. This is a really low percentage. This is nightmare situation for Dizi X Stamina. Royal Champion will be able to get to that Town Hall and pick it off. But in terms of percentage, they are so far behind that they need a defense from Tribe Gaming and a 3-star on their next attack, because realistically, they're not catching up on defense.
Not at all. Not at all. That Queen, that little bit of a bait there with the traps and just not getting it. He just committed so much to getting that Crusher Mortar. And then we saw why he wanted that Crusher Mortar, because the Crusher Mortar single-handedly shut down this attack. He lost the Yeti, had to pop the Warden's ability, and that other Yeti didn't get topped back off to full health, and it immediately went down after the Warden's Eternal Tome as well. Panic set in, but he was able to keep his composure and maintain the 2-star. So here's the situation. If you're Dizi, you need a defense. If you're Tribe, you 3-star, you win the war.
And they have Teamper up next, who is such a talent. He does like the Fireball Rocket Loons from time to time. Are we going to see that? I don't know. I mean, they're ahead on percentage, so he can take the risk in some degree to make sure that if he gets that 3-star, they've won it, right? So I feel like it is a good possibility we see that from him. But think about this as well. Fluxy, ex-teammate of Tribe Gaming. Should they defend here, he could put the nail in the coffin and finish it off. But Teamper, the war is in your hands.
Going back with the Root Riders. The advantage is approximately 44%. I think that's the number. So pretty much any 2-star makes it so Fluxy has to 3-star. But you know, Temper, he's going to look to close this war out with a triple right now. This is your moment, Temper. Can you put your team into the upper bracket final?
Couple of balloons to test initially there, alongside the Lava Hound, pulling a couple of those air mines. Then we've got the Battle Blimp diving in alongside these Super Wizards here, Bash.
Whoa,
I love it.
Okay, a little Blizzard Blimp action. We haven't seen that in a little bit. Now these Wizards are just going to go ahead and crush all these defenses. They've done their job. They're even pulling up that Clan Castle. A little bit of an old school technique there, Judo.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, people forget about different methods. I still love to see the Boulder Bounce from here every so often, the invisible Boulder Bounce. But hey, sometimes those old school methods can come into play when the base builders aren't building against it. Back to the attack, though. That Blizzard means he's able to pull out the Clan Castle very effectively, take it out at the top so the Ice Golems aren't going to give him any of that tricky timing that we seen in the last attack.
And remember, with his teammate Kronos went with those 3 overgrowths. It almost feels like that blimp right there was 1 overgrowth, because look, he's just cut out that whole section of the base. Now he's going to cut off the bottom with the King, push everything in, and he can just shut down the segments as those roots make their approach.
Into a lot of traps here. Healers keeping those Root Riders well topped up, though. Really liking the approach here. He's got every hero ability still to go. Another overgrowth as well. And slowly approaching the town hall. This bottom area of the base might be dangerous for Barbarian King, but plenty of spells to reinforce.
He's got to deal with that Royal Champion. All the heroes kind of coming up here. Minion Prince is next, then the King. Here comes the Warden's Eternal Tome. This is a big moment on this attack. He uses the next Overgrowth to shut down the Ricochet Cannon, shut down all those hard-hitting defenses. Roots are on the Town Hall. Queen is right there for support. Royal Champion's in behind, taking out that Minion Prince. This is a big strike, and it's looking really good.
Looks good. He's got abilities. Everything going to plan so far. Can he keep these Root Riders alive to move through the walls and open up pathing for his heroes? That is the main factor here with 50 seconds left. He cannot get stuck on walls. Defending Archer Queen goes down. He does have to use the Queen ability, trying to get through the Fire Spitter. He's got a dangerous multi-inferno compartment in the center, but otherwise, he's getting there, Bash. It's very, very close.
He's looking really good, Judo. He still has a freeze, still has King ability with that spiky ball to shut down some of these defenses. Royal Champion needs to maintain her health, but that multi-arch tower is so lethal. Expo firing away. Royal Champion's gonna go down.
Ooh.
Queen is gonna go down. Here comes the King's spiky ball.
Is it gonna be enough?
No,
The multi-inferno.
King, go get it.
King's gonna get it. He's got Phoenix. Can he get the Wizard Tower?
He's gonna get it.
No, he gets
Timber
it.
has done it. Tribe Gaming pulled the victory. The come from behind victory. Timber advances his team into the upper bracket finals.
13 stars for Tribe Gaming. Dizi X Stamina cannot catch up on the percentage game. Even if Fluxy 3 stars, they are way too far behind. Tribe Gaming accelerating to that 44 percentage advantage. What a performance from them. Any doubt you had about this Tribe Gaming team is just thrown right out of the window.
I remember talking about Legends League yesterday. We're talking about using those multiple overgrowths, whether it's 2 or 3. It's like, I don't know where to use my second overgrowth. Tribe just used 2 overgrowths, use 3 overgrowths. If you need any kind of help, this is a masterclass on how to use those overgrowths to 3-star your opponent's base.
They messed up my perfect predictions. Fluxy it is, wanting to go out with a 3-star because they will be facing off against Millicene MG later today. So they want to try and get that confidence. If they can put up 3 stars in this war, 13 stars, that gives them good confidence moving down to that attack. Beautiful fireball there from Fluxy. 2 invisibility spells, setting up that fireball super quick, recalling the Warden out of there. Trying to get that easy value.
Fluxy inspired by his teammates with a little creativity early on here. When you think of Fluxy, you think of just straight on, like, I'm going in here, getting that 3-star, throwing everything I got at the base, but I love the creative fireball there, recalling that Warden out, so a beautiful charge. But look at the Expo and the Flinger. That Flinger is not going to get the value he's hoping for.
Yeah, you can see the frustration there because that is a big miss, meaning that he doesn't get any of that value. That's meant to pick off not just the damage, but the pathing as well, which we talk about so much. So now he has to just focus on the Warden at the top of the base, see how he can set up these heroes to move into the Town Hall.
It seemed like he was trying to like split those Expos, so maybe he could get that Flame Flinger to go right up the middle and get that Multi-Inferno, but that is like such a precision play right there. Continue with the Warden charge up top, everything's looking fine. Let's see if Fluxy can get a 3-star and keep a little bit of momentum, keep a little bit of positivity within the team. I know they're not going to get down, go backstage, and get down on themselves, but you definitely want to feel as good as possible going into that elimination matchup a little bit later today.
Absolutely. Raging the Warden now, you've got to be careful with these spells, making sure that you've got that Warden topped up before he deals into damage. Springtrap, Tornado Trap, we've got a defending Headhunter as well, but he does manage to pop that out, because sometimes a defending Headhunter can be super annoying for a Warden, but he's getting flung all over the place here with the Spring Traps.
This Warden is just having a struggle here. There's another Spring Trap. I mean, you can see if there was an RC going through there, how that would just mess up an RC charge. Luckily, the Warden has the healers on him, so he can maintain a little bit, but that Warden's just going to take a pounding from the Crusher Mortar for a little bit, and here comes a Minion Prince charge on the left side.
Yeah, a couple of Rocket Loons to test, but also take down that air defense as the Minion Prince moves in. We've got the King ability stripping apart the top left side of the base, and it looks like the RC will then now be responsible for this Town Hall if the Minion Prince doesn't quite get there in time.
That's a big thing, though. We haven't dealt with the Town Hall. It's still standing strong in the middle, protected by 4 storages, plus that Clan Castle, which is a heavy HP building as well. There goes the Minion Prince's abilities. Got those pants on.
Now.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think from the left side, he's just waiting at the defensive pathing, but he had the Minion Prince ability used as well. There's the RC. Oh, yeah, she does go to the Town Hall from there.
Good call there, Judo. I was worried about it because the pathing definitely looked sketchy. The Minion Prince was able to do enough to set that pathing, set that Royal Champion up for that Town Hall takedown. It is going to be a 2-star. Even if he did 3-star here, we already knew the result of this war. But again, go out with your head held high here. Fluxy and the guys are going to have to go back, regroup, and get ready as they'll be playing in an elimination matchup here in our World Championships.
It is all about Tribe Gaming. 13 stars, dominant performance. No attack was under the 90% mark, so they had that consistency.